Hello and welcome. In this video, as an exercise, let us write a program for a quiz game. Alright. Now first, I will show you how the game should work and then we will write the program together. Alright. Let us begin. When the program runs, it must display the first question along with the answer choices, and then it must prompt the user to enter an answer. If the user enters incorrect answer, the program must indicate the correct answer before moving to the next question. So here I entered A, which is wrong, and so it says the correct answer is B. Alright. Next, if the user provides correct answer, the program must display correct and then proceed to the next question. So here B is correct and so it says correct. Alright. Next, the program should ask the user to enter one of these. If the user enters anything other than these choices, the program must display invalid input and then it must continue prompting the user until a valid option is entered. So here I will enter Y, and when I do that, it says invalid input and asks me to enter again. So I will say X and it says invalid input and asks me to enter again. So I will enter A and it takes the answer and proceeds to the next question. Alright. Next, the program should also allow both uppercase and lowercase letters as valid inputs, meaning it should take both uppercase and lowercase A, B, C and D as input. So even if I enter lowercase d, it has to be considered before moving to the next question. Alright. And finally, at the end of the quiz, the program must display the total number of questions answered correctly by the user. Alright. So this is what we want to achieve with our program. Alright. Let us begin. Alright. I will start by creating a variable by the name questions and I will make it a tuple, and inside this tuple I will have 5 items or 5 strings. Each string will be a question. Alright, so I will go ahead and type out the questions. Alright, so I have completed the questions tuple and I have arranged it like this so that it will be easy for you to understand. Okay, we couldn't have used a set because sets are unordered. We could have used a list, but a tuple is faster than a list, and so we have used a tuple here. Okay, now I will use a for loop and print these questions out. Alright, so I will say for question in questions, print question, and now let me run the program and check the result. Alright, so we have 5 questions printed out. Next, I will create a tuple of tuples, and this will be for options. Okay, I will say options is equal to a tuple, and inside this tuple I will have 5 more tuples, each corresponding to the options for each question. All right. So once again, I will go ahead and fill this out. All right. So here we have a tuple of tuples. Each inner tuple contains the options for one question. Okay. So the first inner tuple has the options of first question. The second inner tuple has the options of second question, and so on. All right. And now what I want to do is print the options out right below the question. So inside this for loop, I will have one more for loop, and I will say for option in options print option. All right. So I will run this and see what I get. When I look at this, I have the first question, and then I have the options of all the questions, and then I have the second question, and then the options of all the questions, and so on. Okay. So this is not what I want. So I have to change something here. So here we must have something to keep track of the question. Meaning, for the first question, only the first tuple of options must be printed out. So here I will create a variable by the name question number, and I will set it to 0. Okay. And here I will say 0 in square brackets. Okay. And now I will run this and see what I get. And you can see we have what is the largest mammal in the world and 4 options. And then the second question, 4 options. The third questions, 4 options, and so on. But the problem here is for all the questions we have same options. Correct? So we have to correct this now. Now coming back to this, let us try to understand what is happening here. When this for loop runs for the first time, the first question will be stored in this variable and it will be printed out. And then this for loop runs. Okay. When this for loop runs or executes, the options in 0th index number will be accessed. In options we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements, and this is in the 0th index number. So when this for loop runs, first elephant will be stored in this variable and will be printed out. Next, blue whale will be stored in option and it will be printed out. Next, giraffe will be stored in option and it will be printed out. Next, hippopotamus will be stored in option and it will be printed out. And this completes one iteration of this for loop. Okay. Next, when this runs once again, this question, second question, will be stored in this and it will be printed out. Then once again, these four will be printed out. And this is because we have not updated the value of the index number. In the second iteration, this should have been 1, meaning this should have been accessed, but we have not updated the value of this, and so we are getting the same options for all the questions. Okay, so let us update this number. So here, instead of 0, I will have this variable. Okay, and inside the for loop, I will update the question number. All right, so here I have set the value of question number to 0, correct? So when I say question number here, initially the value will be 0, and then I am incrementing it after each loop. All right, so now when I run this, I get a question and its options, a question and its options, a question and its options till the end. Okay, so it is proper now. What I want to do now is separate the questions. Okay, so here I will say print, and in brackets I will use stars. Okay, so let me run this and see the output. So we have stars separating the questions. All right, so far so good. Next, I have to ask the users to enter either A or B or C or D. Correct? And when should I do it? After I display the question and also the options. And so here I will say guess is equal to input, enter A or B or C or D. All right, so let me run this and see the output. Yes, so it is displaying only one question now because we are taking input. So here I will enter A and hit enter. Next, it displays the second question and asks for the answer. I will say D, C, B and A. All right, so it ends. It is fine till now. Now we have to check whether the user has answered correctly or not, right? Meaning we need to compare the user input with answers, and to do that we need to have answers somewhere in this program. And so I will create a variable by the name answers, in which I will have the answers of these questions. All right, the answer for the first, second and the third question is B. The answer for the fourth question is C, and the answer for the fifth question is A. All right, so we have this variable which has the answers. Now we need to write the logic. I will say if guess is equal to answers and inside brackets question number. All right, if guess, the user input, is equal to answers, which is this, and in bracket question number. Why question number? Because we have declared it as 0, meaning for the first question this will be 0 itself, and then we are incrementing it, meaning for the second question this will be 1, and for the third question this will be 2, and so on. Okay, so if guess is equal to answers and in bracket question number, then what should we say? Print correct. Alright, else print the correct answer is, and inside this placeholder I will have this. Okay, and since this is an F string, I need to have F here. Alright, now let me run this program and check. What is the largest mammal in the world? So the correct answer for this is B, and so I will enter B and it says correct. Here the correct answer is B, and so I will enter B and it says correct. Here the correct answer is B, but I will enter A and it says the correct answer is B. Here the correct answer is C, but I will enter D and it says the correct answer is C. And here the correct answer is A, but I will say C and it says the correct answer is A. Alright, now this is fine. Now let me run this once again and it asks me the question. The correct answer for this is B, and I will enter small letter b, and when I hit enter it says the correct answer is B. Even though I entered B, it is not saying correct. It is saying the correct answer is B, meaning it has taken this as, or it has considered this as the wrong answer. Okay, this is because I have typed small letter b. So let us modify this, and here I will say dot upper. Okay, even if I enter small letters, it will convert to uppercase and then it will compare. Okay, now let me check it. I will enter small letter b and it says correct. It is working fine. Alright, now we have to enter either A or B or C or D. What if we enter Y? When we enter Y, it says the correct answer is B, meaning it considers this as the wrong answer. Correct? We don't want this to happen. We want the users to enter only one of these. Okay? And until they do, it has to keep on asking the users to enter an option. So we will use a while loop here. Alright? So here I will say while guess not in print invalid input, enter A or B or C or D. Okay, and then once again it has to ask the users to enter the input. Alright, while guess not in these, meaning until this is true. Okay, until this is true, do this. Until guess is not in one of these, print invalid input and ask the input again and again. Okay, Now let me run this and check the program. So I will enter small b, it works fine. And now I will enter y and it says invalid input, enter A, B, C, D. And then once again it asks me to enter the input. I will say V and it says invalid input. I will say Z, invalid input, and then I will say B and it says correct and moves to the next question. All right. Yes. So till here it is fine. Next, what if the answer is correct? If the answer is correct, then the user must get a point. Correct? And so we need to maintain a variable which collects the score. So let us do that now. Here I will say score is equal to 0 because initially the score will be 0. Okay. When should the value of the score be updated? Only when the users answer correctly. Correct? And here is when they answer correctly. And so here we will say score is equal to score plus 1. Okay. If guess is equal to this, it means that they have answered correctly, and only when they have answered correctly the score must be updated. All right. Yes. So this is fine. And now at the end the score must be displayed. So here I will have a print statement, and in the print statement I will say you have answered score questions correctly. All right. And since we have used a placeholder here, it has to be an F string. All right. So now let me run the program and see what I get. This is B. I will say B. This is B, but I will say A. This is B. I will say B. This is C. I will say A. And this is A and I will say B. And it says you have answered 2 questions correctly. All right. So it works. Okay. We have successfully written a program for the quiz game.